Grana Wheat Ninibong, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things Transformers and Transformers action figure related. So the booth is very full today. What I wanted to do today is something a little bit different. So I wanted to really compare. I know I hadn't actually done a review on the Siege version of Hound, which is actually one of the first Siege figures that I picked up. So I wanted to think of a different way to kind of review this guy, because he is a pretty good figure, but he's quite an old figure now. So what I decided to do was actually decided to go on Alibaba again and pick up one of the KO hounds, KO Siege style hounds that you can get on there, and compare the two for you, so that you can actually see what the difference is between the two. So I thought that might be an interesting way of approaching this review. So first of all, as we do with every single review on this channel, let's start with the packaging. So move these guys out of the way for 2 seconds, and the first difference is obviously the packaging. Now I actually opted for the version without packaging, so my guy came bubble wrapped, and I think he's actually part of the Deformation line. So if you're wondering what KO line this comes from, the picture on the packaging looked like he was from the Deformation line. I'm not entirely sure who makes it, but if you go on Alibaba, you'll see them all on there. So big difference obviously between the packaging. Mine, the guy from Alibaba, the Deformation Hound, he comes in a plastic box, a brown box with some lovely bubble wrap, so you can get that down you. That's pretty good. No Siege figure so far that I've bought comes with that bubble wrap, so that's a little bit of a plus, I think, for the guy from Alibaba. And of course he comes with the destructions as well. Destructions for this one, very simple, and that's the packaging for the guy from Alibaba, from the Deformation line. Siege Hound, of course, he comes with the fantastic artwork on the side. He is a deluxe class hound. You can see there it's Siege, Transformers, Autobot Hound, the awesome artwork that's on the side, the top, because he's an Autobot, and the product shots on the back here that show his transformation, 14 steps into a Jeep, and then also these little Battlemaster things there on the sides. So with regards to packaging, he's also got his destructions in there as well, so he comes obviously with destructions on how to do it. So I would say first little round, I would say definitely goes to the Siege figure. Maybe I could have got the other one, the other one's box as well for the Deformation to really make a good comparison. However, I've seen the box for them and it looks a lot like the Power of the Primes type box, which is still nothing compared to this. Yeah, so the winner of this round definitely goes to Siege Hound, because just the box art on all Siege is probably the best box art I've ever seen on Transformers, so it's always going to be a winner. So now let's move on to the main event itself. So 1 and 2. So the first thing you can see, I'll just move my camera a little bit here, is there is a huge difference in sizes between these guys. Obviously Hound, as we've already said, is a deluxe size figure. The Hound from the Deformation line, he comes in at more of a Voyager size. In fact, if I put him up against one of my other Voyagers, he's actually a little bit bigger than a lot of my Voyagers. So size wise, depending on what you want, he is a very, very good size. So you're getting a lot for your buck there if you're just looking at size. But once we move away from the size, that's where you start to see a little bit of differences between the two. So obviously here, this is black plastic, whereas Hound from Hasbro has the more see-through plastic, translucent plastic that you can see there. Obviously Hound has Autobot logos. There is no Autobot logos on the version, the KO version. Move to the side. Hound has a lot of this sculpting around here and a lot more paint apps. So you can see he has. So Hound also has these little indicators here on the side and the gold paintwork. There's no real paint apps here on the sides of this one. Two-tone wheels, 2 tones of plastic for Hound. The KO version doesn't have that going for it. Go around the back, you can start to see some of the accessories here. So accessories for this one, just clear plastic, whereas the Hasbro version is all painted nice and black, different colors. You can see that the lights on the back, yeah, they match pretty much. He has some nice silver paint here, whereas you only get green here. And then he has the yellow indicator lights, and there's no yellow indicator lights on here. But just from a sheer size point of view, this one obviously has more paint work on it and a little bit more detailing. But size wise, obviously this is a lot bigger. I also find that this guy, he holds together okay, but he just feels a little bit flexible. This guy, I would say, holds together. He's very sturdy when he actually clips in. All of the pegs and the clips on this, even though it's a KO version, hold together very, very well. He's a very, very sturdy version of. Having said that, that just popped out there, but it's just part of the part of that. But he is very sturdy. He's also very sturdy. Well, he does exactly the same thing. But yeah, this one just feels a lot heavier, a lot weightier, a lot more actually just like a toy car version of the Jeep. So if I now bring in my Voyager class Prime, you'll see how they all compare kind of size wise. So you can see the KO version is a very similar scale size to Prime, sort of size wise, but does he scale out versus what a Jeep would be like in real life? Probably not, but he is about the same size. So he is a Voyager size alt mode, whereas the original Hound here is a deluxe size one. So we take that out. Start to look at the accessories then. So if I just pull off his accessories here, you come with the 3 accessories there for the KO version, and then you also come with 3 accessories for the deluxe version. So exactly the same 3 accessories, differences, size and paint apps. You can see everything else is virtually identical. There's the guns, So yeah, you can see there it is just a scaled up version of each gun, just with less paint. And you can see the shoulder cannon here as well is just a scaled up version. So then we get to the transformation, and when it comes to the transformation, there is no difference. So where you're going to want to start here on this one is just on tabbing the back here, and then you untab the back on this one. You pull this one apart, you pull this one apart, okay? Then you can come round and unclip the front on this one and undo the feet that are locking everything down, and the same on the Hasbro version. Just unlock these and you unlock these. These, I will say, when you are undoing it, these feel a bit looser. These feel quite sturdy when you're doing it, so that's another difference that you feel. This comes apart a lot easier, even though it feels solider somehow when it's all together. The clips on this, especially these two here, are a lot sturdier. Then this one, you just undo the back legs here and close them back up and fold the feet in on themselves, so that you then have him like this. And then you do exactly the same with the big boy over here, which is just roll the legs out. And then the same with this side, you just bring the legs out, fold them in on themselves, and bring the toe in like so. So you can then see they are both. Ooh, after he's a lot bigger when he stands up, so you have to readjust this camera a little bit, but you can see at this point in the transformation exactly the same. Fold the arms out, fold the arms out, and bring the body down. Fold this back up in there, bring the body down, and fold this back up in there and fold them down, and then fold the arms out and fold the arms out, and there we go. Side by side you can see the size difference there. Transformation is exactly the same, but you can really start to see the size difference between these two. So let's have a little look at the difference between these two in robot mode. So you get 2 stars here. Here you get 1 star that's kind of a bit slapdash on the side there. You get probably closer to classic hounds, yellow across the arms here, and it's more brown around here. Again, following on from the front, you get no Autobot logos, and you can see you still got visible star and Autobot logo here. Then you look down on the legs, you have the battle damage on the legs here, and you've got no battle damage on the legs of the KO version. Paint on here and here, and you've got paint on here and here. Yellow paint for the lights on this one, white paint on the lights for the Hasbro. Battle damage and no battle damage. Plastic feel for this one, it feels like quite a sturdy, nice plastic. Obviously the one on the Hasbro model does feel like a more expensive plastic. It feels a bit of a heavier duty plastic, but the plastic on this one, I have to say, it's not bad. It feels okay. What I will say for this one though is that his joints feel quite loose on this one, and you really see that, and I'll show you in a bit when he tries to hold guns and things. So he's got all opposability. I'll show you the articulation in a second. However, he is quite challenged to hold poses because his joints are that little bit looser. So let's have a look at head sculpt wise. Head sculpt here on Hound, really nice, beautiful blue eyes, quite a thin face on this, but it's a very nice Siege Hound. Really nice head sculpt there. Head sculpt for the KO version is, yeah, it's a little bit cheaper. Obviously it's a fatter head. It's not a bad head sculpt by any chance. You still got those lovely blue eyes. Does it look like Hound? I'm not quite sure, but having said that, the Siege one doesn't. But there is a point of difference between this one and the Siege version's head sculpt, where this one is a little bit fatter. He's got a bit of a burr on his head there. I think that's from where I've transformed him. His head got caught on something maybe. In robot mode, size-wise, this guy just towers over him. You know, this guy is a really nice size. I would love this Hound to be the same size as this. I really like the size of this guy. Articulation, he has a head swivel. His head articulation is actually a little bit better than this Hound's, and they have the same, but just with his head being bigger, he has a little bit more space and a little bit more to play around with. Articulation, they get the full arm. He gets a full arm bend at the elbow, bend at the elbow. He gets a wrist swivel. You get a wrist swivel, very tight wrist swivel there. You get body swivel. You get a body swivel. You get a leg bend here and a knee bend. You get a leg bend and a knee bend. Yeah, so you both have the same articulation. Where the challenge is holding poses. So if we move him out of the way, you'll start to see here that his posability can suffer. You can see, because he wants to fall down on himself because of his weight. So he is a little bit loose on his joints, especially these arm joints here. I'll show you with his gun now, that when I add his gun to here, you'll see that he goes, yeah, so you'll see his arm here. He can't hold his gun up straight, however he can hold it in this position, but yeah, you know, he's a little bit floppy, but that's not to say that he isn't posable. You know, the guy is still extremely posable and will hold positions. It's just I'll give him his shoulder cannon. It's just he is a little bit looser than Hound from Hasbro. So if I bring in the Hasbro Hound now, you can see he passes the does he pass the ninja kick? Yeah, he passes the ninja kick test. Also his gun, I'm pretty sure that he can hold his gun out straight without there we go, as you'd expect from a Hasbro figure. He can hold his gun in whatever form I would like him to hold it, and of course he is also extremely posable and will tend to hold really whichever position you want this guy to kind of be in without crumbling under his own weight. He may go a little bit off balance, but he will definitely hold any position that you want. So let me bring out Prime again to show you how these stack up. So this is Prime from the Siege line. He's a Voyager class, as I said before, so you can see he stands taller than Hound. And then this guy from the Deformation KO line, he stands a little bit taller than Prime when they're stood side to side. Just a little bit, but just a little bit taller. But he does actually stand a bit taller. So you can see actually, if you're going to add this guy to your collection, how he would look in there, and how he fits in kind of size wise to your collection. One challenge that we have with the KO versions is that none of the weapons from the Siege line, he has all the weapon ports that Hound has, but the weapons, they don't fit in, so they just fall off. Although they would look pretty cool on him, unfortunately they just fall off. They do, obviously, all the weapons fit Hound as they're supposed to. For this, we can give himself a lovely little extra arm cannon there, but no, they don't fit on. So that's something to bear in mind if you are thinking of picking this guy up. But overall, my impressions of this guy is I am hugely surprised by the quality of this guy. His joints are a little loose, but I'll tell you now, around here, this guy, so Hound, around here, I can pick this guy up for anything from around £16.99 pounds, which probably makes him around $22, $23. Anything up to around £20, which would probably be around $25 I guess. So this guy I can pick up for that. Him, I paid £9 delivered to my house. So £9 delivered. It's nearly half the price of this Hound. Yes, you don't get Autobot logos. He is a little loose around his joints, but for the price, I think he's a pretty cool addition to my collection. I like the size of him. The price point is good. You know, what can I say? You know, for that price point, if you're looking for something that's still Siege-esque but bigger, I would recommend you pick this guy up. Would I recommend him over the Siege Hound? No. The Siege Hound for me is still superior because he has all the paint apps. He is not, you know, his guns and everything you can see is so basic. I mean, you know, his guns are just as hollow and his joints are just as hollow, don't get me wrong, but he just pulls everything together and pulls everything off a lot better. But as a bit of fun, as a transformer to add to my collection, yeah, why not? Can I see myself picking up some more of these down the line if they release some more? Yes, I may do if I can get them at the same kind of price. So I've already seen a Deformation's Siege style sideswipe that I might pick up if I can pick him up for about the same price. And maybe start to collect a little bit of a collection of these KO Siege figures at this size. I quite like them. I think they're a bit of fun, and yeah, a nice addition to my other styles of Transformers collection and some of the KOs that I'm now starting to build up as well. So yeah, so let me know what you think down in the comments. What do you think about the size difference? Do you wish that this Hound here was made more in the Voyager style size? And again, as always, thank you very much for checking out.